Hey everyone, I woke up this morning and am completely surprised with the amount of attention this video is getting. I'm super excited about it, but there were a lot of questions left over, so I decided to do another video. Now, this was another video of the same light source being filmed by someone else at the same time that Dan Robb shot his video. So here again, we have this sphere, and as you can see, it's emitting light. Okay, this only gets weirder. I'm slowing it down here. You can see it can emit one light and three lights at the same time. Now, if you look in the very top of this light here, you see a white dot. It just appears and then disappears. So I'm going to zoom in on that. And we can see that it has a tail or a wisp, whatever you want to call it, coming out from behind. Now notice that line that came right down the middle of the light. I'm going to slow this down again. Let's watch it. So you can see there's the beams coming out on either side. The sphere is spinning. And then here it looks like maybe that I assumed at least at first for me that it was a light post, but I noticed the light post moves. So that's not correct. It's actually a black beam or whatever coming down from the light, from the sphere, I should say. See that red light down there in between these two lights that we see, these two sphere-looking lights? I'm going to play this again because the light has a shadow on the light behind it, indicating that these are two separate spheres. Two separate spheres. There's more than one of these things. That's just what I got from looking at that street light. Now look at this light here. It looks like there's more white light, another white light kind of coming in and out the top of the sphere. You can see it moving across the frame. I'm going to slow it down and we're going to get a closer look at it. You can see, again, it's moving in and out. And if you notice, there's also little lights inside the sphere itself. Now here it is. All I've done is increase brightness and contrast. Notice that it looked like it had a tail behind it. It reached out and contracted its back half. That's common in these lights. I say they move like worms. And we're going to see that again a little bit later. So again, here's the sphere, very obviously moving this beam-like, very directed column of light all across the surface of the Earth in this location. Now the light seemed to move away very quickly, shining in the distance, coming back again, and shining the beam now down onto the left at a diagonal. Now consider the fact that the lights are coming down at a diagonal, not directly beneath at all times. This is, I think, important. Now it kind of comes behind this object. It's a cloud or something, and you can see even now there's a blue light emanating from the left side of the sphere. Here the sphere is getting softer. It's getting a little smaller. And then here comes the beam on the person filming. Now watch this. Let's hold it here. This is a still frame. This is the light source. Here it is again, moments later. And again, you can still see it. That very obvious light source. We're going to speed it up a little bit to about 75% speed. Now you can very clearly see there is something inside of the sphere. It's moving within the sphere. It's staying with it. Now look below. There's another light sphere forming beneath it, and it looks like these two spheres are now connected. It looks like there's something dangling off of the upper sphere. And we can see here, I'm going to still frame this, that light, this bluish light is emanating from this dangling thing in the middle of this light. Again, slow motion, that light, that thing is still emanating this light very obviously from the front half, looking off left. And now the bottom half of this dangling thing is starting to bend with a very obvious light source near the end. Now, where were the screams? We didn't hear any screams in that video. But then Dan saw or was sent this video. Let's listen.
Jason, someone's coming.
Not only was there a scream, but immediately after there was this obvious beam light right behind those bushes, very close to the sounds of the scream. Let's go back to Dan's original video.
Okay, guys, listen to this. There's a sound screaming. It's like a scream. It's so freaking loud, and it's coming from up in the air, like up there. It's been going on now.
He says the sound is coming from the sky. He makes it very clear that is where he is hearing the sound. But in the last few videos we saw, it seemed the sound was actually coming probably directly above the second person or behind the bush.
Dude, that's coming from like up in the sky outside of my apartment.
The screaming does not happen at the same time. The light, they are two different separate sources of sound and light. Now I'm showing you this video here because look to the right of your screen. We have this flash, then the columns of light, and now there's this black void there. I thought that was really interesting. So of course I zoomed in, I had played with brightness and contrast, and this is what I got. Now, this film, Dan says, was sent to him. Apparently, it was filmed on the exact same day. Look at the middle of the screen here. And you see this black object manifesting. So I'm going to zoom in. And you're going to see this dark part of the cloud extend out like a snake, moving itself like a snake. And now the top or the tip of this object, what would be the head of the snake, is now getting darker and manifesting. Still swaying back and forth, just like a snake. And here it goes, moving off into the distance, now separating from the cloud it came from. Here are the still frames. I can tell you that this is the craziest thing I've ever experienced. It's been a crazy morning for me. I do not know what this is. I'm not saying I know what this is. I'm simply demonstrating what I've seen. Please let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And thank you.